Alright, I'm going to make a quick video to show you guys how to use virtual buttons within Robopro. This can be used to give commands to send your program onto another step in the program. It can be used to count buttons and trigger things. So to start out, we're going to make a new program. We've got our new workspace here. Every program needs to have a start. When I'm making this, I'm going to make it in terms of a freight elevator and making it a go-to button for a freight elevator. Okay. So you're going to start down and go to branch wait. You're going to need one of these branch commands, which is an analog branch or a branch with a data input. Notice it's got this little yellow tail in here for a variable input. And then you're going to also go to operator or inputs and outputs, and you grab this panel input command right here. And then the last thing you're going to need is an actual command button. So you'll find that under operating elements. And then you'll see control elements. And then you'll see 4 virtual buttons you can use here. You'll also see 2 analog sliders you can use. We're going to grab a button. Doesn't matter what color. Just slide this over a little bit. We're going to call our button Go to Floor 1. When we click that button, we want to trigger our freight elevator to go to floor 1. Tie this button with this input command. Panel input command, which again we found program elements were a panel input. I need to tie this button to this panel input. I can do that by right-clicking on the panel input. Notice I've already had my button put in, and I've already renamed my button by right-clicking on my button. Once I rename it, and I have it placed in the program, I'll see it show up here. So I'm going to click Go to Floor 1, and I'm going to link it to this panel input. Okay. So now you guys should know by now about digital buttons and digital push button switches. Whenever I press it, it's going to give me a feedback of 1, as long as it's wired up as normally open. Whenever I press it, it's going to give me that feedback of 1. If it's not pressed, it's going to show a feedback of 0. So theoretically, if I were to press this button right here, that's going to cause this panel input to show 1. Is A, which is going to be 1 in this case, greater than 0? Yes, it is. So that would output to a yes, and this right here would be my section of what my program would do if my button was pressed. If A is not greater than 0, or A equals to 0, that means that our button is not pressed, it's showing a 0. So then this would be my output section that my program would go to if I was not pressing the button. And so now I can make it go to an elevator floor, whatever have you. I'm going to have it run a motor clockwise until it gets to, say, my level 3, or my level 4, my floor 1 sensor. Okay, my floor 1 sensor, I'm going to leave it as input 1. Okay, input 1 matches floor 1. That's great. So I press my button, it starts this program, it runs this motor clockwise until this motor is pressed. If this motor is not pressed, or this switch is not pressed, it's going to keep repeating that. If the switch is pressed, it's going to stop the motor. Okay. And then I can end my program from that point. Again, this is just a little snippet of a program to show you guys what to do. If I wasn't pressing this button though, I need to run my program and check something else. So maybe I'm going to go check another button, or for go to floor 2. Maybe I'm going to check that and see, am I pressing my call button for floor 2? Am I pressing my call button for floor 3? For this instance though, I'm just going to have it loop back up and keep checking. And it's going to get stuck in this loop here, waiting for me to press this button. And then when I press it, it's going to run clockwise until it hits the floor 1 sensor, and then it's going to stop. If it doesn't hit the floor 1 sensor, it's going to keep running clockwise and stuck in this loop. Okay. So that was just a quick little overview, kind of to show you guys this. I know some people had some questions about it, so hopefully this can help.